of 32 Flightsim.
Hello everyone and welcome to this newest video on my YouTube channel. Yeah, so as you can hear, we are again playing one of my simulators, specifically Flightsim. I figured I still have quite a bit left that I can demonstrate, and there have also been a few changes since the last video, which was with the BAE 146, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So today we're actually flying with a new aircraft family, or rather new to the simulator, not new in general. But more on that once I'm starting the thing up, I think. So let's get the battery activated.
Runway awareness
Yeah,
system
thank you.
engaged.
Active.
Audio self-test
Seatbelt signs and
Auto engine FMS. Status.
And we will fly with passengers and cargo today because I kind of want to.
Cruising flight minimum fuel. 1,571.
Okay, so
Choose an option. Set the fuel. 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Let's put a little bit more in there because we
Choose on
do have
passengers.
the ability
Choose on
to
passenger
do
cargo.
so.
DI's cargo. Choose passenger cargo. DI catering.
Not that we really need catering for this flight. We are on board
APU
an
starting.
Embraer aircraft.
Data path flight destination cruising flight APU opera current cost minimum
that's
current
which
income
one I
current
chose.
aircraft type Embraer E195.
Yeah, that one. The E195.
Loading completed.
Our flight today is operated by United, and we will be flying from Key West to Miami. It's a flight of about 120 miles, mostly across the Everglades and
Boarding
parts of
completed.
the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, the APU is already running, so let's get our radio
Radios active.
active.
Engine instrument FF overhead
But
panel.
before I do
IRS
that,
flat syst sports generators light low landing rotat strobe lights overhead
engage all the lights that we need.
windscreen window probe end winger electric hydraulic packs in a packs auto
And the packs while we're waiting.
121.9 Key West International Ground. Freak 121.9 121.9
27, clear to Miami International as file, climb and maintain 2,000 feet, expect flight level 220 10 minutes after departure, departure frequency is 124.025 squawk 3414, start up at your discretion.
3414.
Score 3,414.
Yeah, start up at
Cabin
my
packs
discretion.
auto.
Right, we're in the US, not in Europe.
Packs inactive.
In Europe, you actually have to request startup.
Engine 1 engine 2 starting. Packs auto.
So now I'll get rid of all the checklists.
Pre-flight flows pre-flight checklist before start checklist engine start check before taxi checklist before takeoff check after takeoff check climb out check med max RTO
Set the
cruise
auto
and
brake.
descent preparation complete approach checklist landing checklist after landing checklist parking and shutdown checklist securing aircraft 20 set the flat 2
The flaps. Request our
takeoff runway
takeoff runway.
United 327, taxi to and hold short of runway 9.
flaps set select the take 27 length 5,000 and seconds 29
On runway 09.
United 327, contact tower on 118.2, good day.
Freak 182 118.2
So we still don't have taxiing, but I am working on that in the
Key West
background.
International Tower, good morning. Radar contact established.
Okay, so
cabin packs engine 1 opera packs
On
inactive
runway
packs auto
0.
FM engine autopilot all select 0 waypoint 1 F109E 2,000 feet 200 knots all select MGHD speed max auto thrust max speed 200
good. So we're all set. Yeah, we have quite a bit of headwind, 11 knots,
landing takeoff clearance
which isn't really an issue.
United States Florida Broke Key West Stadium Mobile Home Park
Some would actually say that's pretty good,
9.
because it means that we need a shorter distance to take off. So yeah, just request the takeoff.
United 327, wind 138 at 18, gust at 25 runway 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Parking brake inactive. 40%.
Good, I hope I didn't forget anything.
Stabilize.
Stoker.
Takeoff power set.
84% and 1, speed increasing. 50, 60,
4,000 feet
70,
remaining.
80 knots.
80, checked. 90.
3,000 feet remaining.
V1.
2,000 feet remaining.
Rotate.
1,000 feet remaining.
Positive climb.
Set the flat 10. Flying through clouds. CLB.
Yeah, we now have
0 right at 90.
cloud
set.
altitudes, which is fun.
United 327.
0 right at
Climb
90.
and maintain 2,000
Waypoint
feet.
2. Keithing.
United 327.
2,900
Contact
feet.
departure on
200 knots.
4.025.
124.02. 312.02. 124.025.
West International departure to
Currently flying manually.
0 right at 90.
Heading towards Keithing. United 327, continue flight by flight plan and comply with speed restrictions in the flight plan.
0 right at 90. CMDA.
But I
Active.
will activate the autopilot now. So yeah, we're climbing through clouds, as you can hear, because there are audible differences between flying through clouds and flying outside of them. Aside from the rain, I'm sure you'll be able to pick that out soon. Climb and maintain flight level 200, United 327. Yeah, okay. That's fine. We're also turning. We departed on a heading of 89er.
19 left of 30.
We're now turning towards 30 something. So the rain stopped, but we're still in clouds.
Waypoint 3. Kanu. 19,800 feet. 305 knot. Max select speed. 200. Speed. 250.
Can accelerate to 250 because we're still below 10,000, but that's something at least. I personally have to say, I quite like the Embraer aircraft in general. They are nice. So, but about these changes, one is that we now have multiple different map services that you can use. So, geonames as before, but also OpenStreetMap and the OpenStreetMap online API if you have internet access. I personally use OpenStreetMap offline
Monroe County. El Chico. Mark's Mobile Home Park.
because that's pretty exact. Geonames, yeah, it's okay, but it isn't the greatest in terms of how exact it is, but it's fine. Sorry.
Out of clouds.
Yeah, so as I'm sure you can hear, it sounds different. You do actually hear a bit of a difference even in reality, not as pronounced as here, but I figured probably can't hurt because, you know, we don't see it, so yeah. Anyway, some people use the online API for OpenStreetMap as well. That can be done, but I personally think the offline map is good enough, so I don't really use the online API. Works just as well though, so yeah, there's no issue with that. Also, as you've already realized probably, I have added some new aircraft families like the Embraer E-Jets and also the BAC 111, which I might show off sometime soon, depending on how much time I actually have. Yeah, aside from that, the approach system has fundamentally changed. We're now at a point where,
Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico.
yeah, it obviously still has the international name.
Key West NAS. KNQX. 11 miles.
Ah, the Navy base has... Okay, I did not know that. I figured the naval base had the same ICAO code as the civilian airport, but apparently not. Yes, I just received the weather. I'll take a look at that later. Yeah, so anyway, the approach system has been completely rebuilt, because before you basically headed towards a point where the ILS started. Now the ILS is drawn as a line on the map that you really actually have to intercept, as in you fly at a certain angle, or the autopilot does that for you as in reality. You fly at a certain angle and hit the ILS at usually an interception angle of no more than 30 degrees, and the autopilot keeps you on the center line and leads you down directly to the runway threshold. Yeah, so that's how that works now. The autopilot also descends automatically.
Max speed 200. Waypoint 3. Kano 19,800 feet. 305 knots.
We just passed through 10,000, so I can accelerate to 300 pretty soon.
United 327, contact Miami Oceanic Radio on 123.77. Have a safe flight.
Freak 123.7. 123 speed. 300. Squawk 2011.
Just had to change the squawk.
2011. 2011.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so we also now have squawk changes in flight, as you have just heard. Though they are based on pretty realistic squawk code banks, meaning that they only change if they actually should change. So when you're flying in the US domestically, you probably won't have a squawk code change at all. So, yeah, but obviously since we're in oceanic airspace now. I know that Miami apparently isn't an oceanic center, but the Navigraph data says it is. I don't know what's going on with that. Don't ask me. Yeah, so we now also have Navigraph data support. You can use the X-Plane data extract from Navigraph that you can download if you have an active subscription, because yes, you do need that. And then you can, in the settings menu, let the game convert that data to the Flightsim specifications, and it will use that. I personally have a Navigraph subscription because the procedures are literally miles better. So yeah, I personally quite enjoy flying with Navigraph subscription, even if it is about $99 a year. But yeah, it's fine.
Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, so wait.
83.
How far do we? Okay, 83 miles. Yeah. So those are the biggest new features for the simulator. Other than that, I've also implemented some physics improvements, so general stuff. You kind of always have to. You can't really get around it. Yeah, improved airport data where possible and needed, and yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, it's coming along. As I said, in the background I'm working on the taxi feature and also joystick support, which I personally can't test, but a friend of mine and a member of the beta team can. So yeah. Because joystick support will be quite nice. My plan is, yeah, thank you. My plan is to implement joystick support for both thrust levers and joysticks or yokes, so that you can, if you want to. Yeah, thank you. I will. So that you can, if you want to, have a joystick or yoke and thrust levers connected at the same time, which would be pretty awesome, I think. Though also quite expensive, but yeah, still, the option would be nice. Yeah. And as I said, small changes like the clouds. The ATIS has changed a bit. Let me see.
Engine FMS.
Can I
Status
already
pay
get
cruising
that?
fly current airport. 123.77. Miami Oceanic Radio.
Come on, that was
119.675
I
ATIS.
can't get it. No, I can't. I will listen to the Aegis before contacting the tower though, so, or rather the approach, so in about 20 miles. I could request it via, or
FM
via
overhead
the
lighting
ACAS
TCAS
system.
flight waypoint 4 Towie ACAS weather wind from 112 weather no ACAS.
Let's get rid of that. And let's request this, the written ATIS.
This is KMIA ATIS information Q time 0900 wind from 119 degrees at 6 knots gusts up to 21 knots visibility 42,700 feet temperature 24 degrees Celsius dew point 22 degrees Celsius broken clouds at 800 feet runway in use 26R runway condition dry altimeter 30.04 bird activity in the vicinity of the airfield dot. This is KMIA NOAC flight east lighting overhead panel
30
FMS
+04.
cabin altimeter 29.92.
Okay, I actually have it set to altimeter. That is helpful. Because I can't change that to
QNH 1013.25
QNH.
altimeter 29.92.
But I'll use altimeter because
Gulf of Mexico United
Yeah.
States North United Florida Monroe County coastal plain
Oh yeah, the map has also been improved. We now have names for areas like mountain ranges, like the Alps, for example, or the Andes, or the Rocky Mountains, or plains, and also lakes, but we already had those before. Also playas, so salt lakes and salt plains.
119.15 KMIA ATIS frequency 119.15.
About the descent.
125.5 my free what if 125 point
327. Descend and maintain
Approach clear.
15,000 feet. United 327. This is Miami International Approach. Good morning. Descend and maintain 16,000 feet. Turn to heading 01.
select the approach
KALL.
procedure RNAILS
I want an ILS if at all possible.
United 327. Expect vectors for ILS runway 26 right.
set speed 12
Okay, the speed breaks out because we're descending at a quite steep
Set speed
angle
1.
for some reason.
6.81 miles to DVALL.
Okay, so which runway was that? I missed that.
United 327. Expect vectors for ILS runway 26 right.
Select the landing run 26R. Length 8,005.
Okay, long enough.
Select
Not
the approach
awesome.
RNAILS.
Oh, it's not too bad. So we now got our approach fix.
Lighting panel.
Let me check if that is the correct one, but it should be.
TCAS. Flight plan. Waypoint 6. Weaver. 14,300 feet. Waypoint 6. Weaver. 46.52 miles to Weaver. 27 right at 40.
Okay, so descent here is actually quite steep. I have a suspicion why that is. It's not the worst.
Minus 4.7.
I mean, minus 4.7 degree descent. It's fine, but
12 right at
not great.
Waypoint 7. Famine. 12,800 feet. 4.5 miles. 270 knots. Waypoint 8. Approach fix. 2,000 feet. 32.2 mile. Destination airport. KMIA. 3. 19.2 mile. Starting airport. Waypoint 8. Approach fix. 2,000 feet. Start.
Yes, the approach fix is quite low,
Set speed 0.
but that's actually totally fine.
Set speed 1.
Okay, do need speed
T's
fix.
light overhead FM engine autopilot. Max speed 305. Waypoint 7. Famine. 12,005 miles to Famine. ILS 0 hours 1 minutes.
Yes, so we'll be flying to that one, and then we will fly to the approach fix, which is entered into the navigation panel automatically when you select the runway and approach system. and from the approach fix we will intercept the ILS. So
53.63 miles to approach fix. ILS. Speed 300.
yeah, so we have quite a bit to go, but yeah, it was kind of clear. Because we're flying almost due east, we will probably pretty much pass over the airport before reaching the approach fix and then turning towards the ILS. Because we will come into a runway 26 and we're currently heading towards a heading of 78. So, yeah.
Coastal plain.
You probably see where this is going.
North United States, Florida, Miami-Dade. 10-mile corner. Coastal plain. Dade Collier, KTNT. 18 miles.
So we're above Florida. We might actually fly over the ocean still for a bit because the Atlantic is to the east of Miami, if I remember correctly. So we might well turn around over the ocean, presumably offering some awesome views to our passengers. And then we will come in from the east. Which is actually kind of helpful, all things considered.
Max speed. 250.
Because it does mean that
Set speed 0.
we do actually have pretty much all the room we want under our aircraft, because there's nothing in the way. Like, there's no terrain, there are no buildings, and there's just the ocean. What should there be? Other than ships, but not even the Icon of the Seas is tall enough to actually, you know, be in our way in any weird way or something. Miami is kind of a weird airport though, because when you're coming in from the east, you're literally flying over the ocean, over the beach, over, what's it, I-95? Yeah, I think it's I-95, the interstate. And then you're touching down on the runways. So the runways, the thresholds, not that far from the interstate, because I've been there. We've driven past that airport on our way to Key West, which actually takes way longer by car than by aircraft, last year.
Max select.
So that's why I know a bit about the area.
United States, Florida, Miami-Dade, Everglades. Coastal plain.
Yeah, we're
Everglades.
above the Everglades.
Miami exact. Everglades. Coastal plain.
Yeah, there was this one aircraft, the Valuejet 5902, I think was the number, that crashed here about 30 years ago, in the 90s. Because a fire broke out in a Class D cargo hold. Class D meaning that the cargo hold doesn't have any active fire suppression or smoke detectors, because, you know, it's basically it's airtight pretty much. So the thought was that there wouldn't really be a need for active fire suppression, because, you know, it's airtight. Why would you? But expired chemical oxygen generators that were transported in this compartment against all regulations activated and produced oxygen, meaning a fire could burn, but when they are active they also produce quite significant amounts of heat, up to 500 degrees Celsius, which was enough to lead an aircraft tire that was also transported in there to explode, and also cause a fire that burned through the control cables of the DC-9 that operated this aircraft, this flight, and led to the flight going into a steep right-hand turn and nosedive that the crew could do absolutely nothing about, crashing into the Everglades with, how many was it? I think it was, well over 100 people lost. I don't remember the exact number.
North America, United, Florida, Miami-Dade, Miami. Country walk. Coastal plain. Miami executive. Katie.
But really, that absolutely wasn't necessary. Like, seriously, no.
MGD's auto max select 0.7 speed HMG alt select CMDB alt select 2001 alt select CMDA versus 0 inactive
So
versus 5000 versus 700 inactive versus 26.85 miles to approach fix ILS 0 hours 6 minutes versus 1000 active.
So we're now descending with vertical speed because I just threw out the managed climate descent, because we don't really have to descend down to 2000. I will stay at 3000.
C alt select 3001 Florida Miami-Dade Miami Hawley Heights Coastal Plain Miami Executive KTMB 4 miles.
Yeah, we are pretty much flying over that executive airport, which is, if I remember correctly, slightly to the south of Miami itself. I think it is. But I might also have that wrong, because there are quite a few executive or general aviation airports in that region, including one, but I forgot the name, that hosts the flight school for Swiss and other European operators. Yeah, so we're still heading out to sea, I think,
21 point
because we still have 20 miles to go and not that much land in front of us.
Florida Miami-Dade Pinecrest Coastal Plain Miami Executive KTMB 7 miles.
Yeah, we're also flying away from that one again.
3482
That's our fuel. Oh,
APU stopping.
forgot to turn off the APU. Who cares?
Off min med
You configured the auto brake already.
MGD's alt select 3001
So medium should be enough for an 8,000 foot runway. If not, I can still turn that up. But I do want to do a pretty slow approach so that I have actually a time to speak. So yeah, that's fine. Normally I would probably bring her in at about 140-ish knots. Today, if I can get her slower, I will slow down. I think I can do about 150. We'll see. Because our current stall speed is only 141 without any flaps. So I suspect that I can get her to go a bit slower.
Coral Gable Sunrise Harbor
But we'll see.
Tahiti Sunrise Coral Miami Florida Sunrise Harbor
Sunrise Harbor? Huh, nice name.
Sunrise Village of Key Biscayne Village of Key Biscayne Miami-Dade Miami International KMIA 8 miles.
Yeah, that's our destination.
15 point
And we're already flying away from it, because it's 8 miles away from us now. And still have 15 miles to go for the approach fix, and then we'll turn right around, pretty much.
Key Biscayne Village of Key Biscayne.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Oh, by the way, you can change that in settings though. You have now the option of changing to below the transition altitude, either see the barometric altitude, so the QNH altitude, or the radio altimeter altitude. The latter meaning the altitude above ground where you're at, and the former meaning the altitude above sea level. I have the former because that's what they pretty much always use. Some airlines use QFE, meaning altitude above the airport, but most use QNH. And you can still check the altitudes of the ground.
3,888
That's our altitude above ground.
0
That's the current altitude of the ground.
not detected.
And that would be any high terrain in front of me. If there was any, there's none.
North
right now.
North Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, and I'm above the North Atlantic. Didn't I say so just now? I think I did.
Flying through clouds.
Yeah, you can hear the acoustics changing again. We're flying
MGD
through
all select
clouds.
3001
Yeah, we have rather low-hanging clouds here in Miami at 800 feet, but it's fine. Visibility is more than enough, and since we're doing an ILS approach, yeah, you can certainly do that. It's not an issue.
7.48 miles to approach fix ILS 0 hours 2 minutes
By the way, I haven't slowed down yet because I only need to really do that after the approach fix whilst we're turning at the earliest.
MGDCLB/D alt select 3000 MH speed max speed
But I will go
250.
over to that option already so that I can slow down then. And we're now at around 3000 feet plus minus, so 3048 to be exact. Just cruising along.
Set speed 10.
Okay, the projected speed makes that sense.
Speed 250.
Because I wasn't sure, but yeah, I did. We have about 54 to 57% and one at 250 knots, which really isn't much.
140 left at 297.
Yeah, so we are turning now.
Nav inactive.
Come on, that wasn't
Nav
intentional.
active.
Yeah, just
Speed 230.
pressed the wrong button. We're slowing down.
Speed 220. Speed
That's me
210.
though, not the automatics or something.
HD MGDCLB alt select 3001. MGH speed 210. Speed 200. Minus 65 left at 282. $49 left at 282.
I mostly slowed down to enable us to turn faster, because the slower you are, the smaller your turning radius, and the better the chances of you actually successfully intercepting the ILS. It isn't really a problem if we overshoot in this case, because the game can cope with that. I'm actually pretty sure we just overshot. No, we didn't. No, not yet at least.
One left at 282.
But still, even if we did overshoot, it wouldn't be an issue. But if I can avoid it by just, flying slower, then I obviously will, because, why not?
Ecom. Nav inactive. PM. Auto. Max speed 200.
Yeah, just remove the ECAM message from my earlier nav deactivation.
12 left at 267.
So we're turning
Speed
further.
190. Speed 180.
I'm reducing speed to 180. You can actually hear the engines now.
Zero straight ahead at 282. North Atlantic Ocean.
We're still above the North Atlantic.
Miami International. KMIA. 14 mile. 14 points.
Yeah, no,
Zero straight ahead at
is the closest
282.
airport. That's good to know.
Minus 290.5.
That's how far we are away from the center line, 290 meters.
Minus 259.5.
But getting closer. That function probably won't be in the final game, we'll see, but it's there for now in case we find
ILS
any bugs or
identified.
something. Yeah, so we just hit the ILS.
Minus 159.
Still a bit off. But coming closer.
One left at 279. Minus 89.8. Minus 63. 200 United States, Florida, Miami Beach.
Yeah, crossing Miami Beach.
9.8. Minus 43.9. 267. Minus 39.3. Max speed 180. Set speed 2. Speed 170.
We are still getting closer.
Minus 19.6. Minus 18.
Slightly.
United 327. Contact tower on 118.3.
Freak 118.3.
327. This is Miami International Tower. Good morning. Radar
Outer
contact
clouds.
established.
Set the flat 1, 2. Minus 10. 206 max speed. 170. Speed. 160.
Gear down and locked.
Flaps set. Speed. Set the flat 3. Flying through
It's
clouds.
descending automatically, by the way.
Outer clouds.
Yeah.
Flaps set.
Broken clouds. It did warn us.
Set the flat 4.
So I'm pretty much doing nothing at the moment except for moving
Flaps
the flaps
set.
and choosing my
Set
speed.
the flat 5 full.
Let's get them out to full and see how slow we can go. Maybe it might even just be 140, we'll see.
Speed. 140. Flaps set.
Yeah, it'll be a 140 approach.
Weather. Wind from 117 degrees at 23 knots. Gusts up to 24 knots. Visibility 42,000.
Good.
United Florida. Miami. Buena Vista.
Is it Buena Vista or Buena Vista? Spanish or English? I don't know.
United
Miami.
27.
Alapata.
1149er. Gusts up to 1. Runway 26 right. Clear to land. Altimeter
149,
3006.
guess it to 1. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Good. Checked.
Autopilot.
I threw out the autopilot and do my descent manually now.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Mostly because I can.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Minus 3.5.
Glide slow.
And also because I kind of enjoy flying myself.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
Come on!
Glide
Approaching
slow.
2, 6,
Think
right.
rate. Think rate. Think rate.
Set speed 1.
500.
1. Full.
Approaching minimums.
We're all set.
400.
1.2 miles.
Minimums.
Continue.
300.
0.65.
200.
Miami-Dade. Miami. Front and trailer park. Coastal plain.
100.
Glide slow.
50. 40.
Glide
30.
slow.
10.
8,000 feet remaining. 7,000.
No, I won't
feet
engage
remaining.
the thrust reversers because we don't need them.
6,000
And they are loud.
feet remaining. 5,000 feet remaining.
Parking brake active.
Here we are.
APU starting.
As I said, we still don't have taxiing, so
APU
we
operational.
can't actually let the passengers get off.
Engine 2 stopping.
But I did start the APU and I'll now turn off the engines. I wanted to engage the APU first because otherwise we're going to lose power. So that wouldn't be fun. Anyway, thank you for joining me today for this pretty short
154.89
actually not that
miles.
short.
32 minutes 17 seconds.
32 minutes. Oh wow, that's something. Thank you for joining me for this flight today. And yeah, I hope I'll see you
All
again
engines deactivated.
pretty soon. If I manage to record a new video during the next few weeks, we'll see. All depends on how much university stuff I have to do, and I'll also be traveling in June. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feedback, concerns, whatever, you can leave a comment or join our WhatsApp group, join my Discord server or my Patreon page. I would really appreciate any support you send my way. I also have a PayPal link. I think, yeah, that should be in the Discord server. Yeah. And also, if you play TWS, you have all those links in the credits documented also in the game itself. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and have a nice day.
Obs 32 off name beamed and short.